This is a tutorial on using the navigation controller, and the end product is going to look like this. On one screen I'm going to enter an account number, click on this button, and it's going to show me the balance. It's going to transfer the account number here that I transferred 112 and display a balance or something, and I click on it, I go back. This is about using navigation controller. I'm going to start with a template and modify it, use navigation controller and program it. So file new project. I'm going to use the master detail application, as we saw that this template has everything that we need. However, I'm going to modify it to fit our need. Master detail 4. I'm going to call this project that. Devices universal. Storyboards check. Use core data check. Using a arc check. And that's why I'm using this template. It has all of these options. Almost everything is wired in for us in case we need it. So that's my philosophy. Why not start with a template that has everything, plumbing for everything. And once I have this, I'm gonna just run it to see how it looks and what's in there, what I want to do, and how can I modify it. I'm gonna change my simulator to iPhone. Well, this is basically how it looks like. It looks like it's using a table view, but I want to use a navigation view. You see, that's not what I want. I just want a simple page here, and move to another page. Not the table view. I don't want the table view. It's all wrong, but everything else is right. So I'm going to open up the storyboard, dismiss the navigation view, make the project navigator a little bit smaller. Navigation controller, I need that. This table view and the detail view, I want to get rid of them. Now basically when I have one scene here, it'll have a label. I'll have account number. Click on a button there, it'll go to another view, another scene right there, and it'll show the balance of that account. And in the process, it'll transfer the account number entered on the first one to this second one. That's the basic philosophy, and we do this a lot, so we're gonna practice that. Now I don't need these master view controller, so I'm going to delete that as well. Move to trash. That'll get rid of it even from the file system. Get rid of that. So now let's start by getting the navigation controller back in there. The utility area. Go down to this area. Navigation controller. Drag that back up here. Minus sign to make it a little bit smaller. Actually get rid of the one that existed in the beginning as well. So delete all three scenes. The navigation controller I had left from the previous original template, so I got rid of that as well. Just start with a clean storyboard, So delete everything that was on the storyboard canvas area. I drag the navigation controller back in here. And it gave me the same thing again, a navigation controller and a table view. And we are trying to work with the navigation controller, see how it works. I'm going to get rid of that as well. I don't want a table view, I want a simple view. Now once I have that view, I want to connect them from here to there. So I'm going to control, drag, click, and say root view controller. Step number 2, I need a UI view controller for my first view controller. So I have to go with File, New File, Objective-C class. I'm going to call it Main View Controller, subclass of UI View Controller, uncheck, uncheck, next. Step 1, I want to import core data in here. Correction, I want to open up mainViewController.h and import core data and define a property for the NSManage object context called manage object context. So at this point I'm going to run this project and see if I see a screen. Now before I do that, I ran into some error. Since I deleted the masterViewController.h file, I'm going to have to delete it and add the main view controller. I'm just going to modify it. And we know this has gone wrong. iPad, I'll come back to fixing it, but for right now I know that there is no main view master view controller. Instead there's a main view controller. I'm gonna have to doctor this and see if that'll work. Now the build succeeded. I've got an error that there's a set manage object context is unrecognized. So another step, I'm gonna have to go back in here. I'm gonna go back here, view controller, which is the identity inspector, and change that to say, well, your controller is main view controller. So this view is connected to main view controller now. Let's see if that error is gone. Not yet. So I went to main view controller.m file and synthesized a manage object context. So I had to import the core data property like this in the control M file, synthesize that property in the app delegate. I removed the one for iPad for right now, modified this to say main view controller because that's the one I have. I deleted the master view controller and modified master view controller occurrences to main view controller, and now I got a basic application working. I modified it successfully. Now I want a button here, a label there, a text box here, account number. So when I enter the account number, click on it, it transfers the information to a new view where it pulls up the detail and displays the balance. That's what I want to do next. So I'm going to go back to my storyboard and this time drag another view controller up there. Now for this view controller I need a now this is when I drag it up there, it creates a scene or a nib. Basically, in context of the storyboarding, they call it a scene. For a scene, I need a class inheriting from UI view controller. I need my view controller. Now that's confusing over here. Even though it says view controller, I need to do this. This is a scene. So that's one thing I found confusing in all the documentation and stuff. This is a scene. I need to add a class now. I have added, drag it here. Step 2 is to add a new file. Objective-C. We'll call it view balance view controller, subclass of UI view controller, uncheck, uncheck, create. Now that I have this, I'm going to have to go back to this file and import it in because I'm going to use it. It's a lot of jumping around. View balance controller H. Go back in here. I need a button here that I click, it brings me down there. And that button would be right down here somewhere. Bar button item. So I'm going to drag it up there. You see it's not going to do that. I'm going to have to enlarge it. And then drag it up there. I have to zoom into it to drag it up. I'm going to click here and find identifier and change it to action to make it look like this. Drag it up here. Now control click action, drag it up there. That's one way. Or another way is to control click drag push. Now let's run it and see. That's one thing I see. I keep running it to see where I am at. You see it goes to the next view. Now I see the back button, it brings me back. So using storyboarding, it has wired it up for me pretty good without any programming so far. So I'm going to go back in here, add a label in a text box real fast. Account number. Enter the account number right there. Right here, it'll say this is the placeholder to show the account number. Balance. Well, let's call it your balance is. Your balance, and this label will actually have the balance, and I'm gonna call it balance. Run this program, see if you are good so far. So I'm gonna enter something here, click here, it'll say this account number is going to be transferred here, and your balance is going to show me a balance. So now it's time to wire up these things. I'm going to select this area. For this one I need a few things. I need to open up the assistant editor. I can dismiss this for right now so I have a little bit more working space. Okay, go back in here. Control click. New referencing outlet. You see I make a mistake. Not the collection one. New referencing outlet is the one I want. Account number. So that's been connected. Now I go to I was working in the main controller M file. I gotta work with the main controller M file right there. So I want to synthesize that object. Synthesize account number so I can access it. Next step. Now I need another method here called prepare for segue. There you go. I need this prepare for segue method. And what will happen is in this method we'll write the code to transfer whatever the user entered into the next area. Let's see if it works so far and there are no errors. Good so far. Now I need to move on. I need to be able to access the account number so I can set it. but I haven't connected this view controller to the view balance view controller so far. So I need to open that up. I need to go to the identity inspector, view balance. Now this is I don't know what that is. It's not gonna, code assist isn't popping it up. I keep seeing this. So now it's been connected. I click here, I open associated editor, it opens up, well, view balance view controller. So I need to control click drag here to create an outlet, or you could control click new referencing outlet. To distinguish between the other screen's account number and this one, I'm going to call it selected. Account number. I'm going to do the shortcut way here. I need the one for an outlet for balance. Control click drag. Balance connect. Now that I've done that, I need to go back into the view balance view controller.h view controller. I need to go to the .m file associated with it, right? And synthesize those. No, I was in the view balance one. Yeah, I was in this one. So I need to, yeah, that's a little, I know why it doesn't automatically do that, so you gotta watch it. You gotta do this manually. It's kinda annoying, but that's the way it is. You gotta synthesize them. You know, this was just done for us automatically, but this, you gotta do it manually. Very good. Now I'm gonna make the final attempt in the prepare for segue to create an instance of the view balance view controller and transfer the information to it. Before I can do this, I have to import it. View balance view controller. I'm just gonna copy it, put a star, copy it again, lowercase it, and I get it from segue. There's a method in here. Destination view controller. It's gonna give me an instance where it's going. Now in here, I imagine there should be a set account number, selected account number. Yeah, set selected account number. I'm going to attempt to try to do this. I'm going to say now the view balance view controller dot selected account number dot text equal to account number text box, and see if that'll transfer, cart it over. Type 1. I'm gonna set a breakpoint here. It appears that we are not gonna be able to do this. A labels value. So I gotta go back in here, open that up, and create another property and change it to NSString. Selected account number, I'm gonna have to change it to an NSString. Then I'm gonna have to go back in view did load, and in there set the balance labels text to selected account number, and go back into main view and view controller that selected account number, and see if that'll cart the value over. No, there's an error. Unrecognized selector sent to an instance. This opportunity to show you how to troubleshoot. I put a breakpoint here. First of all, I looked at here, see if there's a problem. There, put a breakpoint. There wasn't a problem here. I came over here, set a breakpoint, and I saw that this is the line number that was generating the error. So I'm going to put a breakpoint right there, and before that, either something's wrong with the selected account number. So I'm going to write a log file and say add and try to see if I can reach that. Yeah, see, that line is generating the error. So nslog, where is my nslog? Okay, so here's the error. I had come in here, dismiss that, dismiss that. No, the storyboard for the iPhone. Yeah, this one. Well, or I could just control click. You see, I had connected it to that property, and then I changed the IB outlet property to NSString. See, these are mistakes that one can make. Now I gotta delete it here. How did I found out? You see, I did the nslog file. I did the nslog, and it printed out saying that this is selected account number is a label, even though in the you see I here no sorry in here I had changed it to NSString, but the storyboard still thought it was a label. So very, very deep troubleshooting. Now let's see what happens. Very good. You see, now one is printed. Actually, I should have set continue instead of run. This time I remember to click here. Very good. You see that? Account number, it gets printed out over there. So I have carded the account number from here to there, back, and I could, at this point do a, maybe I do a web service or something, find the balance for the given account number and display it. So there we go. I took the most versatile template, the master detail template, modified it to fit my situation, and in the process showed how to use the navigation controller and bind everything together.